Hey folks, it's Keith, Victor Echo 3, Sierra Victor Quebec, otherwise known as the Shaky Key. Back today with another video, and this time looking at a great event for new operators. So for those who have maybe just got on the air and have a couple of contacts under their belt, or for those who have no contacts but are looking at getting on the air for the very first time, this is a really good event for you to try out. And the event is called the K1Usn Sst. When you hear that sent as a CQ, it's very easy to recognize. It's very distinctive. So this is an event that is designed essentially as a slower speed event. Some call it a contest, and yes, you can score points and so on, but vast majority of the people that I know anyways don't do that. They're just going in it to have a bit of fun. And if you're brand new, to make some contacts, get over the nerves, and so on. So what are we looking at with this event? Well, if you look on their website, it's going to tell you that it's under 20 words per minute. Now, if you're brand new, like I was a little while ago, 20 minutes doesn't work. 20 words per minute doesn't work for me. But what I found was a lot of slower operators on there. Some operators calling CQ for the very first time. Some operators trying to make one or two contacts, the very first few contacts. So I wasn't alone being new. And yes, there were some really veteran operators on there, but what was nice was they slowed down. So if I was struggling at 10 to 12 words per minute because I was really nervous, they were very happy to slow down for me. And that's a really important thing when you're new. You need to know that the other operator's not going to be frustrated by you making mistakes and maybe sending too slow. And I never had any complaints from anybody, and I can tell you I made lots of mistakes when I first started. So this is an event. If you're new, you're either just on the air or you're thinking about getting on the air, this is a good event for you to look at. So when is it held? Well, for the most part, Fridays, if you're in North America anyways, Fridays and Sunday night. Now everything is UTC. So on Friday, it's going to be 2000 UTC to 2100. Now for Sunday, of course, it's going to be 00 UTC to 01 UTC, which actually makes this a Sunday night event in North America. And now I'm doing this one in July, so we're actually talking about 8 to 9 p.m. at night over in North America, or East Coast North America at least. So again, maximum 20, lots of slower operators. Take your time, practice, practice, practice. Listen to people calling, listen to their call signs. You've got lots of time to make sure you have their call sign right. Now, in this event, there's no RST as such. So the exchange is even simpler than POTA. So many operators start with POTA because they think it's easy. This event is even easier. All you need to know is how to send your name and the abbreviation, 2-letter abbreviation for your state or province. If you're outside of North America, you just need to know your name and how to send the letters D and X. That's it. Can't get much easier than that. Now, what bands can you use? Well, pretty much your traditional ones and so on. So if you have a basic radio setup, you can probably get into this contest. And again, it's not really a contest, but you can get into this event. That's probably a better name for it. If you've got, who knows, let's see, 40, 20, 15, 10. If you've got those bands on your radio, you can do this one. Now, they suggest that you can find your activities to one particular spectrum on the band, and this way you don't interfere with other events that might be going on, or some of the calling frequencies for some of the groups and so on. So if you're on 40 meters, we're looking 7.028 to 7.045. 20 meters, 14.028 to 14.045, and then similar with the 15 and 10 meter bands. No issues there. So if you're one of those operators that likes to do the sort of hunt and pounce, you don't have to scroll around too much. All right, you can find them pretty easy. And again, you can find some of them on the RBN if you know how to use that as well. So there's lots of different ways you can do this. Once you find a station, do a lot of listening, right? Listen, listen, listen. What's he sending? What's the call sign? Right? Learn that call sign. Learn to recognize it. Write it down. Now you need the person's name. So if you're a little bit nervous, what do? Take that call sign, punch it into QRZ. You'll have the person's name. You'll have the person's state or province. No problems there. So already have the basics for when you call that person. Make yourself a cheat sheet. And I can show you one in a little bit, but make a cheat sheet. So if you're nervous and you're really, really nervous and you're not sure what you have to send, put it down, put it on paper, put it beside you. Have it so that you can use it. Nothing wrong with that. You know, as new CW operators, we all worry and, fret about all sorts of stuff. But reality is there's a lot of operators out there, very veteran in some cases, who just enjoy helping new CW operators out. You'll find some of them in this particular event. And again, like I say, it repeats every week. So they're there. You just have to listen, find them, contact them. Right? In this type of event, those operators are looking for you to contact them. They're waiting for you. And like I said, many of them just love to hear new operators and help them out. I know with myself, just this past week, it was VA3CBN, Greg, and I'm chatting with him and found out he was still trying to make his first contact. So we did. We set it up. We completed it. He was excited. So am I. I love to help new operators make those contacts. Lots of other operators are happy to do that as well. Now, I'm doing this video to try and encourage more new operators to get started. So as I just mentioned, there's my sort of setup, if you want. There's my IC 7300, the pad. There's where I usually keep my Morse code key, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I talk about moving it. And then, of course, you've got your computer here if you're going to log stuff, which I usually do. And then over there, a little simple cheat sheet. So make yourself a cheat sheet. So if you're brand new and you're panicking and you're getting really super nervous, have that little cheat sheet so you can just look at it and remember what it is you have to send. Very, very simple procedure. So there's the big change for me, moving my key way to the edge of the desk here with the knob is hanging just over the edge a little bit. That's a heavy key, so it's not going to flip up. All right, so what are some of the conclusions we can draw at the end of this particular video? Number one, yes, I was on yesterday. I managed to make one contact, but the conditions were so bad that really it wasn't useful for a video. All right, just too noisy and too chopped up. But it was a proof that, yes, there are people out there, even in terrible conditions, and it's not crowded, right? That's a really important thing. So for a new operator, what do you need to remember? Number one, pileups are pretty rare. I think all the times I've made a contact in there might have been one, maybe two operators. It's rare that you'll ever hear more than two operators calling at the same time. So if you're calling CQ, that's pretty good. You don't have a lot of competition. And again, if you are trying to talk to that particular operator to make a contact, again, you're not fighting through a pileup and so on. So it's a relatively straightforward system. If you can hear them and they can hear you, there's a good chance you're going to get a contact. The second thing is, because it's not swarming with people, you're not swamped with call signs. Those people calling CQ, they want to talk to you. They want that contact, probably as much, if not more, than what you do. So there's no hesitation. When you call them, they really want to hear from you. Another item here is that when you are sending, now you're the new op, you're calling someone, or maybe you're brave and you're calling CQ SST. Send at a speed that you can copy. Don't let the adrenaline take over. Don't let the adrenaline speed you up. Make sure whatever speed you're sending at to that other operator, you can copy, because most of those operators will come back as close to your speed as possible. Something very important to keep in mind. And again, when you are doing this, that SST, I played it for you. You could hear that CQ SST, CQ SST. That SST sound is really easy to recognize. So when you hear it, Friday or Sunday, if you're over here in Eastern North America, when you hear that SST, you know what the person's trying to do. Give them a contact. Get used to doing this. Get used to calling people. It's all going to benefit you down the road. Plus, remember, most of those operators want you to succeed. There are people in there. There are instructors in there from some of the organizations. They're there to help you. They're not there to criticize you. They're there to try and give you a contact. Same reason I go in there. I love to give people contact, especially new operators. So I'm in there. There's many others in there too. You'll hear off and on. We're not all there at the same time at the exact same moment. But most of those operators in there that you hear, they want you to succeed. So don't forget that. So when you hear someone calling CQ, SST, right? Da, listen. Listen a lot. Make sure you've got the call sign copied correctly, because that's the key to everything. You may even hear an exchange where that person is talking to another person and they're giving their name. So it gives you an idea as to what it is that's going to be coming your way. And why not just simply log into QRZ, look the call sign up, before you call. Now, what do you have? Well, you've got the call sign, you've got their state, and you've got their name, first name. That's all you have to give. So you're already got most of the information that you're going to copy. So relax a little bit, right? There's nothing wrong with taking your time, doing it right. And the first few times you do this, I look back when I did it the first couple of times, if I made 1 or 2 contacts on either of those events, that was it. And by then you're a basket case, so why push it? But if you're there every Friday, or like I say, the Sunday night one in the Eastern US or Canada, you're going to get 1 or 2 contacts under your belt. It's going to become easier as you go forward. And nothing wrong with making a cheat sheet. What are you going to send? You're going to send thank you, your name, where you are. So in my case would be Oscar November for Ontario. That's essentially it. Remember what a BK sounds like, because that's what a lot of people use when they turn the conversation back to you. But it's not difficult. It's something that should be a lot of fun. So yeah, make yourself a cheat sheet. Just follow along, and if you get nervous, just look at your cheat sheet and you can see what you have to send. And in the meantime, practice sending your name, your state, your province. Practice, 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 so it sounds good. Practice sending your call sign. record all of that on your smartphone. Listen to how you were sending. Could you copy that? All these little things are easy to do. Above all, when you go to do it, just take a great big deep breath and send out your call sign to that individual that you hear. Now, be prepared that when they come back to you, they may not come back with your entire call sign, especially if you're a VE or a VA up here in Canada. Very common to get VE question mark or VA question mark because American operators are expecting an American call sign to come. So, be ready for that. You may hear part of your call sign. In mine, I very often get VE3SV question mark. So you just resend your call sign, and if it goes a couple of times, maybe just the part of your call sign that they're having trouble with. In my case, it's very often the SVQ. So I don't always send, the first time I'll correct by saying VE3SVQ. If they've got most of the call sign and they're just missing maybe the last two letters, I may just send SVQ so they know what we're sending and slow it down a little bit so they can copy a little bit easier. So like I said, listen for part of your call coming back with a question mark. And it may not be necessarily VA3 or VE3, it could just be the last 2 or 3 digits of your call sign. It really depends what they pulled out. So expect that. After you've made your contact and you're all excited and, top of the moon type thing, remember to log it, right? Absolutely crucial that you log that contact because that's proof that you made it. And yes, that's what it's all about, isn't it? And then again, well, just have fun. This is not wartime. It's not a job. It's a hobby. Have fun. That's the name of it. And the more you do this, the more relaxed you will become, the more fun you're going to have. So that's it for me. If you do go into this particular event, the SST, and you make some contacts, I'd love to hear about it. You may even get me in there on some days. You never know, depending on my schedule. But if you've had a success, you've made a contact, especially if it's one of your very first ones, flip me a note. My email is in the QRZ page under VE3SVQ. So I'd love to hear how you did it. And you never know, maybe your contact will be with me. So if you like this video, please subscribe, click the like button, share it. Hey, make a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. It's Keith, Victor Echo 3, Sierra Victor, Quebec, wishing you a great day. Have fun. 73.